الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا وشفينا محمد وآله وأزواجه وذريته أجمعين. We are looking at Islamic economics and we're trying to develop an Islamic critique of Islamic economics. And our basic claim is that Islamic economics represents an attempt at legitimizing the ethics and institutions of capitalism. So that's the basis of the whole critique. So it's very important to understand this, because we think that capitalism and Islam in their institutions and ethics are totally opposed civilizations. So if Islamic economics does legitimize capitalism and institutions, then Islamic economics is against Islamic civilization, or at least it is a hindrance to the development of Islamic civilization. And this claim that Islamic economics represent, based on our prior claim that economics is an ideology of economics as a subject, is an ideology of capitalism. And so there are a few steps. So let's dwell on this a bit. So first we have Islamic economics. So we take economics as the main thing in here. Islamic is just trying to put some limitation on economics, but positively it's not something other than economics. It's almost the same level of thing as if somebody try Islamic bars or brothels, for example. The main thing is the bar and the brothel, and you're trying to allegedly put limits on. That doesn't make brothels Islamic or economics Islamic. But this is a claim that Islamic economics is not something independent of economics as a discipline. That's the first claim, which we will try to justify in these sessions to a certain extent anyway. But the prior claim, so economics is the main claim. Our main claim is about economics. Economics is not fundamentally, it's not knowledge but an ideology of capitalism. Economics is an ideology of capitalism or religion of capitalism. So economics presupposes that the rationality and ethics of capitalism is correct. And it tried to theorize this and try to justify this. So in this understanding, there was no economics before capitalism. So in that sense, economics is different from physics. There was physics before capitalism, and there would be physics after capitalism, but there was no economics before capitalism, and there won't be any economics after capitalism, for example, there won't be any economics in if Islamic civilization dominates in certain parts of the world, or if Islamic social structures become overwhelming, for example, or even if any other genuinely non-capitalist civilization emerge, then there won't be any economics, because there would be nothing for economics to justify, really. So if economics is the ideology of capitalism, and if Islamic economics is just a subdiscipline of economics which try to justify economics in Islamic terms, that means what Islamic economics does is becomes an ideology of Islamic capitalism, if there can be any. So, but there can't be any Islamic capitalism, because Islam rejects the basic values of capitalism and the basic institutions of capitalism and the basic rationality of capitalism. So these are the three things. So Islam rejects the basic value of capitalism. Islam rejects the institutions of capitalism. And before that, Islam rejects the rationality of capitalism. So these are the three things. And if it's economics is an ideology of capitalism, so Islam rejects this ideology as well. And if Islamic economics is a subdiscipline of capitalism economics, then Islam rejects that as well. And we reject Islamic economics because Islamic economics, only with minor adjustments, doesn't fundamentally reject capitalist values, capitalist institutions, capitalist rationality. It justifies all these three, and we are going to look at it in detail, some detail. And if Islamic economics does all these three, then it means Islamic economics also is an ideology of capitalism. So these are the basic claims which we are going to try to justify in the session. So what are the basic values of capitalism? Basic value of capitalisms are freedom, because capital essentially is the concrete form of freedom. Because if you want to be free, you need resources. And you need to you need to overcome scarcity. And overcoming scarcity is required for human freedom. And human freedom is essentially, or search for human freedom is essentially the belief in the sovereignty of desires. So it is desirable that there are no limits on my desires. That's what freedom is. And the only legitimate limit is that sovereignty of my desire is compatible with the similar sovereignty of other individuals. That's in liberal capitalism anyway. In socialist capitalism or Marxist capitalism and nationalist capitalism, there are some other, but they believe in sovereignty of desires as well. So belief in freedom is the belief in sovereignty of desire, and fulfilling your desire require that there's no limit on your desire, and that requires that scarcity. You need resources to fulfill your desires. And capitalism is a search for overcoming scarcity. And economics basically justifies that in saying that economics is based on these two premises. Economics, that human desires are unlimited. And what they mean is they should be unlimited. And sometimes it is put as they are undetermined. What it means is that they are unlimited. They are various desires. Every desires have their own desires. And these are desires, okay, not needs. Human desires are unlimited, undetermined. Obviously, human needs are not undetermined or unlimited. And resources are limited. That's another. So these are two basic premises of, and the way to overcome overcome scarcity and overcome limitation of our desire is capitalism. And that is based on two basic values. For the basic values, one value is acquisitiveness. Christianity used to call it greed, and the other one is jealousy, or what the other value is covetousness. And this is basically jealousy. economics call it competition. And this is the basis of capitalist rationality as well, that every human by nature wants to acquire more and more, and every human beings by their nature are jealous. They want more than others, and that's the basic of competition. And Christianity used to teach that these were sins, but Enlightenment thinkers, who were the first to justify, or one of the first to justify capitalism, they argued that these are basic human desires and you can't eradicate them or you can't tame them. The best way is to let them loose and channel them. And the way to channel them is through capitalism, through market. And people are by nature acquisitive and they're by nature covetous. They're by nature greedy and they're by nature jealous. And we can channel through the institution of market. The purpose of market is so people can compete with each other in order to make more and more. And when society dedicated itself to this purpose, and the whole civilization dedicated itself to this end, and create institutions for this end, and market is one of the institutions, then we call that society as a capitalist society. And that's what economics justifies. And Islamic economics makes no fundamental objections to any of these. It buys into the fraudulent claim by economics that it is a science and it has discovered some sort of supply and demand rule, when in fact it is just trying to universalize one sort of human behavior as natural. And Islamic economics doesn't put any fundamental critique of this. On the other hand, it just tries to find ways, as we will see, to justify these values and this rationality on the basis of Islam. Okay, I think we'll stop here and we'll continue from here next time, inshallah.